This is a genre painting by German artist and Professor Berthold Woltze. Titled The Irritating Gentleman, the 1874 work is Berthold's most famous artwork. The painting shows the inside of a train carriage as it, most likely, passes through the German countryside. The focal point of this piece is the young woman sat alone on a bench. She seems to be middle class based on the quality and formality of her clothing, and although it was common to wear darker overclothes when traveling, we can assume that this young woman is in mourning. A black cloak covers her simple button-up shirt and skirt. Her hands, clad in black gloves, grip her purse and handkerchief with her black hat resting beside them. Beside the woman sits a large carpet bag, intricately decorated with flowers, bulging with unknown contents. In the Victorian era, women in polite society would wear their hair down until around the age of 16, and married women certainly wore their hair up, so it is unlikely the woman is mourning a husband. Perhaps she is mourning a parent, leaving behind her home to live with an aunt, which would explain why she is traveling alone. Over the shoulder of the woman, we see the painting's namesake. A wealthy-looking man in a fine suit and hat has turned in his cabin to encroach into the woman's space. His cartoonish grin and leering eyes clearly mark him as a villain in this story. Despite being a man of means, he clearly has no class. His advances on the woman are obviously unwanted in her vulnerable state. He is self-important and therefore does not care how his actions are affecting the young woman. The other man sharing the cabin has his face turned away, perhaps disapproving of the irritating man's behavior or perhaps simply wanting to avoid the situation. Finally, let's take a look at the young woman's face. A single tear is falling down the woman's face, perhaps the combined result of her grief and frustration at the unwanted advance. Her eyes penetrate out of the painting to the viewer. The young woman could have chosen to look down to her hands, or even out of the window to avoid the man. However, she is looking at you, the viewer. She is showing incredible restraint, maintaining her body language. With just her eyes, she is calling out for help, and you are the target of her pleas. Taking in the scene as a whole, there is an air of ambiguity until you lock eyes with the young woman's, and from that point on, the scene is clear. Even 150 years on, the themes of social etiquette and the discomfort of unwanted attention displayed in this piece are, unfortunately, as relevant as ever. I think that is what initially drew me to this painting. At a quick glance, it is a jumping-off point for conversations on gender dynamics and society in general. I couldn't help but wonder how I would act in this situation in the modern day if I saw a young woman being harassed by an older gentleman, and the painting ends up leaving me with a sense of uncertainty and disappointment. I love the detail and realism of the painting, which adds to the scene, giving it a sense of real stakes. The woman's delicate, restrained expression and the detail of her fair hair are a true show of talent. Woltze put a lot of time and effort into seemingly small elements of the painting, such as the woman's bag and the detail of the benches, which further set the scene and ground the subject. All in all, this is a painting that will sit on my favorites list, at least until that hopeful day comes along that we can no longer relate to the suffering on display.